Again, hello. So rather than making this super long, I'm going to get to the nitty gritty of all this. This is a twofer. And then I have, actually it's a three-fer. So I'm going to basically show what music stuff I got for Christmas. Sort of a little surprise that I got this year that I'm actually looking forward to. And then, which will actually help me with some of my reviews and some of my videos and ideas and so on. And, you know. Okay, so the very first thing, I'm going to show you what I got for Christmas musically. Literally 3 fucking things. That's it. I don't ask for a whole lot. I ask for stuff that I really want. One record got missing, but that's here nor there. I'm not worried about it. Actually, no, that one's still on order. The other one I asked for, the wife forgot what the album cover or the album title was in the band, so that's okay because she grabbed me this. So she got me Motorhead's On Parole. This essentially is a re-release. So actually, it's a remastered, expanded version of the very first record. So you get the first record, which is On Parole. So you're looking at Motorhead, On Parole, Vibrator, Iron Horse, Born to Lose, City Kids, Fools, The Watcher, Leaving Here, Lost Johnny. On the other side, or on record 2, you get the alternative takes of On Parole, City Kids, Iron Horse, Born to Lose, as well as Motorhead, Leaving Here, and the demo version of Fools. So that's kind of cool. Literally, there's not Fast Eddie Clark's not even on this. You literally get Lemmy on bass vocals, as we know. Larry Wallace is on guitar. Phil Taylor's on drums from except tracks 9, 11, 13, and 15. He does do, and he does do some additional percussion tracks on 2, 5, 14, and 10. But he also has, or it also has Lucas Fox doing drums for 2, 5, 9, 11, and 13, 15. So this was obviously this was the one that was released in 1979. Bonus tracks were mixed by Paul Hicks. These were 1997 mixes. So basically 2020 released coordination, all that yada yada yada. Nothing too serious. Comes on black vinyl. We've got some pictures on. So that's sort of one of the sleeves. Got a bunch of pictures. I'm not pulling this all out because, like I say, I don't want to have this being a half an hour, 45-minute video. Not everybody wants to watch that. Maybe some guys, but not everybody. Next record, I have the reissue of Death's Human. And it's got this sort of butterfly splatter edition. I'll get that out real quick because that takes mere seconds. Here's so the jacket. That's pretty much what it is, sort of on 2 different sides. Of course, the butterfly wings. Sort of nice little copper beige sort of vinyl. I really like it. It's pretty cool to me. Of course, the hype sticker and stuff for the Relapse re-release. And last but not least, a CD that I received from my old guitar player in my old band. He's a big fan of these guys. That's XDO. This is the side project of Maurizio Icono. I could be saying that very wrong. Nope, Maurizio Icono. He's the vocalist for Cataclysm. The first record was pretty cool. This one I have not heard yet, so I'll probably end up having that in the background at some point. And that's my musical bits. And the thing that I said is probably that's going to help me with some of my reviews, because I'll be able to play music in the background just listening to while I play this, is going to be this little fun thing. this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play this. Like 620 games, old vintage Nintendo. But of course, you get these 2 extra buttons. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now, the second part of this three-fer is a brand new single review for my buddies in Doom Machine. Doom Machine, they're I won't say local to me, but I guess if you want to call them, we'll just call them a maritime doom metal band from Annapolis Valley, Nova Scotia, comprised of a few different spots. These guys are Bill Arsenault on bass and vocals, Ryan Embry on guitar and vocals, and Jason Reeves on drums. Now, one thing I do want to mention with these guys, and I'm just going to do this real quick. As I said, this song is called Broken Crown, released on October 15th, 2021. So just a month or so ago. The thing about Doom Machine is their records start out from about 2006, and they've got 4 records out, which doesn't seem like a lot. But for the amount of times that Bill's got stuff coming out of Yin Yang, okay? They have a good chunk of material. But you got to think, too, like, when you go from, like, one record to the next, to the next, to the next, it's so hard because everybody's so busy with their day-to-day life. Shows were happening so frequent. Bill was also involved in a sort of like this little, like a booking kind of thing. As well as sort of a fanzine and stuff on YouTube called Metalworks. So Bill was not only going to shows, he was shooting videos, doing interviews, posting live show clips up online. He's had a pretty busy go. But because Metalworks is now no longer, he's able to do more things. They had another guitar player named Colin, and he was the main guitar player for quite a while. He sort of flaked out and came in and out, and now we have Ryan Embry. Ryan's been around for a few years, and the good thing about this single is, while it's slower, it's doom-laden, but not to the point of where you can literally sit there. You certainly can't compare it to like a Hooded Menace, that kind of thing. It's certainly not that. It's there's a lot of groove, there's some doom, but when you listen to the vocals, there's a lot of Alice in Chains in here, from what I find. And I'm just strictly talking vocally, not musically, vocally. They're a simple band. They don't put out these technical style tracks. Some tracks, there's a bit of technicality. I mean, there's in some of the riffs, but not to the point where you can literally say, oh, well, that could sound like an Iron Maiden lick. Well, that's wrong. They don't go hog wild. They just keep it nice and simple and straight to the point. And Broken Crown is no exception here. If you like Alice in Chains, if you like a bit of groove, and if you like a bit of heaviness, check this track out. You can find it on all the major streaming sites here. And soon they should have a new record out in 2022. But I haven't gotten a confirmed date. All I do know is that this song kicks ass. If I was to give this a score out of 5, it's definitely a solid 3.5 out of 5. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it, to be honest. Like I said, it's just a great track. Now, for part 3 of the three-fer. Once again, another ranking list. But I'm not going to go into this too much because of the fact that this, like I said, this could take me about a half an hour, 45 minutes. Top 25 Metallica tracks of all time. I'm going to give a couple of bits on each song, and that's it. So, starting off at number 25, from Load, we have the track called The House That Jack Built. It's very gloomy, it's doomy, it's somber, and yet at the same time, the chorus has got sort of, it gets upbeat a little bit, and it's just one of the great tracks from that record. Now, I will state that, yes, I do like the first 4 records very much. Load and Reload have a sentimental side of me because obviously being, in my mid-teens and my mid to late teens when those records were released, I really stuck to those records because I heard the first four like in abundance, like constantly, always rotating them out of my Discman. When these come out, I was like, okay, this is different. I like this. I don't hate it. There's some songs at the time that I was like, I could live without. But growing older and, they actually sit a little bit different now. So number 24, off Reload, we have Carpe Diem, Baby, which is also sort of Carpe Diem is how they say seize the day. That's another sort of gloomy, doomy kind of track. Really nice sort of almost like grungy sort of riff. And you got to remember too, like at the Load and Reload, James Hetfield was hanging out with Pepper Keenan of Corrosion and Conformity a lot, so some of those songs really sort of resonated with James a bit, I think too. Number 3, from Reload again, we have Unforgiven 2. Personally, I like that better than the other two. I think Unforgiven 1 has been played to death. It's boring, and it doesn't give me any sort of enjoyment. Unforgiven 2 sounds better. It comes in, it just sounds better. James's vocal is much better because obviously he's aged. It's gotten better, and I just like the feel of it all overall. So we go to 22, God That Failed from the Black Album. Starts out with a bass track with a nice bass. I just like that riff. I just like that bass line. It's not a bad vocal either, really. 21, we have Moth into Flame. This was off of Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Moth into Flame is probably the one song off that record, next to another one that I'll get to quite shortly. That's probably one of the better tracks off that record, or two of the better tracks off that record. There's not very many on that record I like, to be honest. But this is very sort of Justice for All, but it's got that sort of Iron Maiden, sort of, that sort of melodic little ascending line, I guess. It just sounds great. Number 20, we have No Remorse off of Kill 'Em All. A great record and a great track covered by Cannibal Corpse with, I think that was on the Wretched Spawn, if I remember correctly. And that sounds good too. No Remorse, No Repent, We Don't Care, What It Meant, yada, 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 yada. It's a great staple, one of their biggest tracks. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you guys what these songs sound like. You guys know, for fuck's sakes. Oh, itchy shoulder. Moving on to 19. The last track, we have The Struggle Within. Starts off with a nice little opening sort of snare thing. Then the guitar kicks in for a little melodic line. Probably one of the more unsung tracks from that record. I don't know what it is. It just has a good sort of chuggy riff to it. I like it. Number 18, we go back to Reload, and we talk about Prince Charming. And Prince Charming just comes in with a nice crushing sort of and it just, when they all come in and hit on that one note, that one great big pound, it just sounds disgustingly heavy. And it's sort of a funky kind of track too. Like it's sort of like that whole sort of groove aspect and that sort of that grungy feel, but more up tempo. Corrosion and Conformity thing with Pepper sort of thing. You know what I mean? That's still, that whole thing's going to linger on here. Number 17, we have Spit Out the Bone, final track of final track on Hardwire Till Self-Destruct. Great thrash track. They need to do more of this. There's even a bit of some distorted bass solo in there. It's great stuff. Listen to it, love it, trust me. We move up to number 16 now. Phantom Lord, also off of Kill 'Em All. Great track. Not one of my favorites off of that record, but it's one of my top. Like if I was to do a ranking, that would be in around number 4 or 5, I believe. Great track. Great track. Number 15, same record, Kill 'Em All. Metal Militia. Just Metal Militia. It's just pure thrash. It's probably one of the fastest songs I think they've ever done. One of. Number 14, the iconic Orion. One of the best instrumentals they've done. I think it's personally the best one that they've ever done. Call of Cthulhu's also good. Yeah, fight me on it. I don't care. Number 13, we have from And Justice for All, we have One. I think this is actually the only... Nope, this is the third track from And Justice for All that I have on here. One, do I need to? Do I absolutely need to? Now, a couple songs going in from number 12 here up to number 1. Some controversial picks, but songs that I really like. So the first one, number 12, we have Low Man's Lyric from Reload. This is a really sort of somberish track with a hurdy-gurdy in it. And just some of the best lyric writing I think that James has ever done. Yes, they've got puppets and all that other jazz, but really, you know, so though the sky is all I see, all I want from you is forgive me. You know, you bring this poor dog in from the rain, but he just wants right back out again. If you listen to it, it's a really, really great sort of somberish track. I love the fuck out of it. Fight me in the comments, I don't care. Number 11, we go to my absolute favorite Metallica record of all time. This will never ever change. When I grab the actual physical copy here, this will never change. Ride the Lightning. We have number 6, and that's Escape at number 11 on my top 25 Metallica. Probably one of the most unsung tracks that they've ever done. It's just simple. It's just a simple, heavy track, and probably the one song that I think they've only ever played it once live, and I could be still wrong on that. Now for the top 10. Number 10, Blackened, And Justice for All. Starts out, no more, no need to go into it. It just fucking rips. And of course, you got to think too, because this is my top 25, these are the ones I tend to listen to the most. Number 9, Master of Puppets. For the most part, the reason why I don't have this higher is simply because of the fact that I've overdone it to death. It's overplayed to death. Yes, it's a staple, but I liked a lot of their live versions better. Like from Seattle, when they did the Seattle show, that was killer. The Master of Puppets from S&M is actually really fucking good. Going to number 8. And Justice for All again, we have the final track, and that is the one, the only, Dyer's Eve. And the simple fact is you have the fucking sort of thrashy blast in there from Lars while James is singing, and then there's just these one chords that ring out. Killer stuff. Number 7. Actually, number 7, 6, and number 5 are probably going to cause a bit of a stir. And I don't fucking care. Number 7 from S&M, Minus Human. It was either this or Sad But True. But I put Minus Human in there because it has that same sort of feel. It's with the way the orchestra's playing, the that sort of stoner doom fat beastly fucking shit, and James with that fucking almost Dave Mustaine-esque sort of James Hetfield style snarl. It's just vocally, it's fucking brilliant. Lyrically, it's probably one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Ain't no worse than I Am the Table. But that's for another video, for another day. It just, this track really fucking smokes. I used to be able to play the whole fucking thing note for note and sing it at one point. God, that was a lot of fun to do. Number 6, a song that they finally played for the first time live in 40 fucking years. Fixer. Final track on Reload. Again, you gotta remember, when this 94, 95, 96 sort of thing come out, man, I was big on these two records. It's literally about a voodoo doll. Oh, Jesus. It's just so good. It's so bluesy, and yet it's so doom-laden as well. But the way that they know how to do it, it's fucking killer. Obviously one of my top 10 songs. Number 5, Devil's Dance, simply because of how it fucking starts. Big old fat bass line. Now, the album version is okay, but I prefer the version that they do on S&M. When I listen, I go right to S&M for that. That first one is actually one of my favorite live records they've done. Number 4, we go to Master Puppets, and we are talking about Battery. And we're going to sit with Master Puppets for these next 3 songs. So we got Battery at number 4. Don't need to go further. Number 3, we go to Disposable Heroes. That song really resonated with me because it was a war song. I tend to like war songs. I'm a fan of Sodom, especially. But when they're in the midst of chugging out that last little bit, and then James goes back to the front. That whole sort of chug thing they do in the end is fucking killer. But the whole song itself is great. And then you get to the final track of Master Puppets, which is Damage Incorporated. Probably one of the I'm going to say one of the nastiest songs that they've ever recorded to tape. And finally, number 1, we have a tie. From this fella again. This is literally a tie between Ride the Lightning, the title track, and Trapped Under Ice. I made the decision to put that as a tie because it literally flip-flops. And technically, I almost left one other song off here to fit Trapped Under Ice on, but I was like, no, I don't want to leave it off here. And that track was Minus Human. I almost left that off. That would have been like number 26. But because it's top 25, I left Minus Human in here, and I made the decision to put Ride the Lightning and Trapped Under Ice at number 1 with a tie. Because really, that's the big thing with me. If I love a song, or if I love 2 songs that much, I have to almost make it a tie for the number 1 position only, simply because of how fucking good both are. They played Trapped Under Ice at their 40th anniversary, I believe, as well as Fixer. Trapped Under Ice is one of my all-time favorite songs, obviously, but it is also tied with Ride the Lightning, because Ride the Lightning is fucking stupidly killer. And so that ends the three-fer. I have one other video to do, and I'm going to have to wait a day or 2 for that. Haven't decided fully, but that'll be my top 10 albums from 2021. Hopefully that comes across correctly. If not, I'm going to look like an idiot. Killer, guys. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And just, be cool, be healthy, keep that shit heavy and, you know, do some fun shit.